Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Lacy Bay Designs. On this tutorials, I'm going to teach you how to make this beautiful and neat shirt for a 3 to 4 year old boy. So let's get started. Great, so these are the materials I'll be using for the tutorials: a plain fabric, an African print, ruler, tape measure, scissors, and then tailor's chalk. Okay, so this is African print fabric. I will then open it into two like this and then place the right side facing me. Then I'll place the plain fabric onto it, any plain fabric at all, whether blue, black, white, any color at all, provided it's a plain fabric. Yes, then I'll place the right side onto the African print this way. Please, I didn't place it on fold. Okay, so this is it. Because it has a bottom extension, I'll then indicate the bottom extension like 3 inches. So 3 inches downwards, then I'll mark it out with my ruler. The bust measurement, okay, so the shirt length is actually 17 inches plus 2 inches allowance, making 19 inches. So that is what I am marking, 19 inches. Then I'll mark the same 19 inches at the other side. Okay, so I'll connect the point with my ruler. So the bust measurement for my 3 to 4 year old boy is 22, but I'll be making it 24. So 24 divided by 4 will give me 6 inches plus 2 inches allowance, making 8 inches. So I'll mark out 8 inches from where the 3 inches ended. So that is the 8 inches. Then I'll bring it down and mark the same 8 inches from where the 3 inches ended. Okay, so I'll then go ahead and then connect it with my ruler in a straight line. Okay, so the neckline is going to be 2 1/4 by 2 1/4, but I wouldn't be marking out after. I wouldn't be cutting out after marking out. Okay, I'll then go ahead and then cut the pieces, or cut all the points marked on the pieces before cutting out the back and then the neckline. Okay, so afterwards I'll be cutting the back, but before cutting the back, I will then go ahead and then fold in the 3 inches marked for my bottom extension. I'll fold it in this way since I wouldn't be needing it at the back. Okay, so I'm going to secure it with my pins. But for the back, I'll be using only the plain fabric without adding the African print. So this is it, cutting the back. I then place the plain fabric on fold like this and then place the back onto it. So I'll be letting the back exceed the front about 2 1/2. Yeah, so 2.5 or 3 inches. Okay, so this is it. It's overlapping the front about 3 inches. I'll then cut out and then cut the neckline, the shoulder line, and then the armhole. Great. So about to cut the neckline, I'll then shift the front to meet the back shoulder line like what I just did. Okay, so as you can see, I marked 2 1/4 wide and then 2 1/4 long on the front. I'll then connect it in a curvy way and then cut out. So that is the shoulder line. When I'm cutting out the neckline, I'll then add the back onto it. So I'll be cutting the back and then the front together like this. So 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. I'll cut it together with the back neckline, and then slope the shoulder line about half an inch before cutting out my armhole. Okay, so I will then bring my top pieces downwards like how it was at first. Afterwards, I'll bring the back pieces overlapping the front like what I am doing. Okay, so from the neckline, the top neckline away, I'll be marking 4 inches. That is my shoulder line. That is my baby's shoulder line. Okay, so I marked out 4 inches. Allowance has been added, so I marked out 4 inches and then brought the tape measure down 6 inches and then curve it. That is for the armhole. Okay, so I'll cut out. Great. So this is all I'll be having for my body pieces. I'm going to cut out the sleeves. Okay, so the length of the sleeves is 6 inches here. Allowance has been added. It's actually 4.5. Yeah, so after sewing, I'll be left with 4.5 or 4 inches. Okay, so the wide here is 7 inches. I'll then curve my armhole like what I am doing. Okay, afterwards I'll cut out. Yes, I'm cutting one sleeves on a plain fabric and one sleeves on an African print fabric. You can use any African print, not necessarily kente fabric. It can be any African fabric at all. Okay, so I'll be cutting the same thing on my African pieces, African fabric pieces. I'll then notch the center of the sleeves and then cut the other sleeves on my African pieces. Okay, so this is what I have after cutting out. The next thing to do is to go ahead and then work on my body pieces. So first of all, work on the front. So we're about to work on the front. I then open up the front like this and then cut out the exceeding pieces. Okay, so this is one half of the front. I then fold in half an inch and then fold in to the level of the 3 inches where the 3 inches started. So I fold in again like this for the plain fabric, half an inch, and then fold it in onto the 3 inches where I marked. Okay, I'll go ahead and then stitch along. So this is the sleeves also. I'll go ahead and then double fold the hem of the sleeves half an inch and then sew along. I'll be doing the same thing on my kente pieces. Great, so this is what I have after sewing along both sleeves and then sewing along the bottom extension. The next thing to do is to go ahead and work with the front and back pieces. So at this point, I will then open the back pieces, making sure the right side faces me, and then place the front pieces right side and then right side faces each other. I'll place it onto the shoulder line like this, making sure it matches. I'll then go ahead and sew half an inch downwards, half an inch at the shoulder line. Okay, yes, so this is what I have after sewing half an inch downwards. The next thing to do is to go ahead and then bring the front pieces downwards to meet the hem of the back, making sure the back exceeds the front like 2 inches because I have already sewed half an inch. Okay, so this is it. It's exceeding about 2 inches. I'll then indicate the center of the shoulder line of the dress. Okay, the next thing to do is to open up and then fix in the sleeves. So where the white pieces are, I will just fix in the African print pieces instead, like what I am doing. I'll then go ahead and then sew along 1/2 inch all round. I'll do the same thing for the other pieces. Okay, so that pieces has a white sleeves. Okay, so I'll pin and then sew along. Great, so this is what I have after sewing along. This is what I have after sewing along. The next thing to do is to go ahead and then sew the side and side of the shirt. Around arm for my 3 to 4 year old boy is 8 inches, and then 1 inch for ease, making 9 inches. So I'll be marking 4.5. So that is where 4.5 ends. Afterwards, I will sew along the 4.5 to the side and then to the hem of the shirt. I'll be doing the same thing on the other side as well. I'll mark out 4.5, yes, with my chalk, and then sew along the 4.5 downwards. Great, so this is what I have after sewing along. This is what I have after sewing along. There is excess allowance at the side and side, about 1.5, yeah. So I'll be trimming off about 1/2 inch, remaining like 1 inch, so that when I knit it or I take it to my knitting machine, I'll be having like 1/2 inch left. Please, there shouldn't be too much excess allowance in making a shirt dress, or else it's going to look very bulky. So you trim off the excess, remaining like 1 inch. You do your knitting, then you have like 1/2 inch allowance left, or 3/4 inch allowance left. Okay, so the next thing to do is to go ahead and then turn it out to the right side and place it down to see the beautiful work we are doing. We are not done yet, but it's given. Yeah, it's given. The shirt is given. Okay, so the next thing to do is to go ahead and then fold the hem 1/2 inch and then another 1 inch, and then sew along all round. After sewing along all round, the next thing to do is to measure the neckline all round and then cut our neck, our stand collar. Okay, so I measured and then I got 18 inches, so I'll be cutting out 18 inches. Allowance 1 inch, making 19 inches. So the wideness is 2.5, so 1/2 inch at both sides, remaining like 1.5, yeah. So this is it, 19 inches. I'll then mark out with a ruler and then cut out. So after cutting out, okay, so I'm cutting out. After cutting out, the next thing to do is to go ahead and then fold it into 2, like what I just did, and then slope one side like this. The way I am sloping it, I'll then cut out. Good. Please, at this point, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, kindly do so and then press the notification bell to notify you anytime I upload any video. So I'm going to sew 1/2 inch all round to the other side, then turn to the right side, but I'll be notching. Yes, so this is what I have after sewing. I'll then notch the curvy area so that turning will be very easy for me. So I'll notch this side, then notch the other side. I'll then turn to the right side and then go ahead and fix it onto the shirt neckline. Great. So turning became so easy. Okay, so I'll be placing the right side of the shirt facing me, and then I'll place the kente side onto the shirt like this. You see, the kente side faces the shirt. I'll then open up and make sure the seam line or the seam line or the seam point matches the point of the neckline or where the bottom extension begins. Okay, I'll then sew 1/2 inch and then turn to the right side and top stitch all around. So this is what I have after fixing in the collar. I'll then create a small pocket at the chest area. Then our shirt is ready. Thank you all for watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel, press the notification bell to notify you anytime I upload any video. See you all in our next video. Bye.